Hi, my name is Kea Nkanoki and we're here at Moms at Home. And today I'd love to share with you a simple pose to help to create space in your IT band and your glutes, which will then help to nourish your low back. One of the most common complaints I get in a prenatal class is low back pain. One of the ways that we help to balance that is to strengthen the glutes and stretch them. So today we're going to do Kapotasana, which is pigeon pose, but we're going to use props to really support the joints instead of overstretching, knowing that we've got that relaxin hormone flowing through our bodies. So to begin, let's just start comfortable cross leg. Take in a nice long inhalation. Let it out. I want you to do a few more breaths like that to center yourself first. Press pause on this video, and then when you're ready to join for the practice, unpause, and then we'll begin. So the props you want to have are 2 blocks, a blanket, and a bolster. And we'll start out on hands and knees with our knees supported by the blanket, and we're going to step the right foot forward to the outside of the bolster and then wiggle your foot forward just ahead of your bolster. You're going to take your 2 blocks up to the tall height, and we'll cross the right foot across the mat to the left side, bending into the right knee. Relax your right thigh down to the bolster. So for this version of Kapotasana, I like to modify it slightly. Normally we stretch back through the top of the left foot, but in this version we'll curl the left toes and anchor down through the left foot to help keep a little bit of strength, a little bit of hug in to the pose as you stretch. So we'll slowly start to hinge forward from the hips and use your blocks to rest your forearms on. If you're a little further along, it may benefit you to have a blanket or another bolster propped here so you have a little more height for your belly. Otherwise, you might even benefit from dropping the blocks down to the smaller height. So once you're here, you want to really work on shaving the outer right hip back as you roll the left hip forward and keep curling the right toes back towards the knee to protect your knee. Breathe into your outer right hip. You want to stay there for as long as it feels good, perhaps a minute or 2, and then you'll slowly rise back up to straight elbows, bending into your left knee. Slowly slide your right hip back off the bolster and make your way back to hands and knees. Now as we go to the left side, I'm going to show you a slight variation. If your hip flexors are a little tighter, we'll step the left foot to the outside of the left block and wiggle the foot forward of the bolster, and then cross your left foot across to the right side as you bend into your left knee and relax your left thigh down to the bolster. Curling into the right toes, for many of us, having this leg straight will be fine, but for some of us, it's really hard. So you might bend into your right knee to relax the hip flexor, and then let this be your modified Kapotasana. You can still feel that stretch in the outer left hip. If it feels good to keep the leg straight, do so, and perhaps you lower your blocks down. So there's a few ways you can either stack it up or lower down, bend the knee or straighten, but either way you get to that space that feels like you're right at the edge of it being an opening pose and it being too much. You don't want to go too far. And then let your breath serve as a helping hand. Thread your breath down into your pelvis. Stay here for 2 to 3 minutes. And as you're ready, you'll bend into that right knee and slide the left hip back off the bolster. Take your time. Make your way back to hands and knees. And you might take a nice simple supported child's pose. Knees apart, big toes to touch.